What is going on? I'm Zedmod. This is my COVID mustache and my COVID haircut. I don't look super awesome to start with, but when you start growing a mustache to entertain people on Zoom and Teams calls and you let your wife cut your hair, this is what you end up with. So that's the world we're in. Anyways, people have been asking when am I going to do Facecam. I've already done a number of them, but I figured I should do one more before I get rid of this ridiculous mustache. Now, this is not some sort of Snapchat filter or something where I can raise my eyebrows and make my mustache go all sorts of crazy. This is just me in regular life. Have not been out of the house a lot simply because of the old COVID, the old Rona as people have been calling it, but restrictions starting to back off a little bit here, so gonna be allowed to go outside finally, which means it's time to shave this ridiculous mustache. So that's what's gonna happen. Anyways, I'm gonna get my face out of the way of the video. Facecam, not really my thing because I just find that it obscures a lot of the screen, or you have to add bars on the outside, and my channel's all about the gameplay, so we're gonna do some ridiculous gameplay. And without further ado, let's just get into that right now. So what we're gonna do here, as you can tell by the screen, is that I've got all sorts of ridiculous troops loaded yet again. This troop combo has been a lot of fun for me simply because it's a challenge. I'm at almost 1,000 VP, have dropped about 200, 300 VP since coronavirus started. Have been playing a little bit more Brawl Stars, a little bit more Warships. Let's pick up that free stone, not really sure. That is one of the weaker rewards, obviously. What I'm hoping for tomorrow is that the Supercell gift number 10 or whatever it is that Admiral's Key, so people can jump on to Warships for the last day or so and unlock HQ levels they've never seen before. Warships, please Supercell, Admiral's Key for those low-level players. They haven't really featured it, so to give it away as a gift for the last day of Warships would be really interesting. Plus, it would give a whole bunch of new weak bases that have never played at that engine room, so there could be like just a bloodbath, I would think. But anyways, let's keep that sculptor going, because as you can see, I have 0 powder. Just finished off an operation attack, took down Rogue with this ridiculous troop combo. It was basically full health. I essentially soloed it just to show you that that's the case. As you can see here, there was nothing left, but it looked good on paper. Anyways, let's keep moving along. Have switched to the mic on the mic stand, as you might have seen in the video. I like to wear a headset when recording, but for today, we're going to stick to the microphone boom arm. Let me know if you can hear a difference. Hopefully it sounds okay. I am just, every time I switch microphones, it's a pain. As you heard in my video yesterday, I was trying to set this up, had the microphone set up, and then switched to my headset last minute, which is why it sounded like I was in the bathroom, as Mr. Gleefos was so kind to point out. As you can tell here, not getting a lot of PvP spawns simply because I have not been clearing my map, which explains why my VP has dropped so incredibly far so quickly. I do come on every day, clear NPCs. By the way, the ability to clear NPCs are tied with the tribes. You need to have the tribes. You do get guaranteed results, but it's not as great as simply clearing them in some instances. It depends on how many buildings there are. I believe if the NPC has 55 buildings, that's the magic number. Not entirely sure. Anyways, let's get in here. Funny how Shirt here has loaded looking like it's an NPC, but it's actually a PvP. A little bit of a visual glitch there. Let's keep going. I'm not going to be doing imitation game here. I'm going to be talking quickly because I want to get this map clear as fast as possible. We are going to be smoking troops. Smoking this many troops is not something that I really recommend, but we've got lots and lots of GBE, so you know what? Let's just get that going. We are going to lose a ton of troops, at least a few troops to that SEMO, but I'm not overly concerned. We're going to drop some critters into our smokes in the hopes that that SEMO will target those critters. They don't always target what they're supposed to, but hopefully we can keep Miss Brick alive for a moment or two. Just medkits. I think there's actually a medkit tribe right now. We don't care about that. We're just going to burn through this entire core using all of the most ridiculous troops. And one of the things I wanted to point out is with smoke, it doesn't matter what troops you use. If you can get mastering smoke, you can use basically any troops and take down many, if not all, bases on your map. Obviously, some players above 1300 VP or so would disagree with this, but for the most part, there aren't many people up at that level. So unless you're up that high, you should be able to take down any island on your map without a heck of a lot of difficulty once you figure out the benefits of the smoky troops. Now, obviously, smoking grenadiers is not a super great idea unless you're very, very careful as far as where you put them, because they will play the old hot potato. And when grenadiers play hot potato, it is not a super great thing to have happen because they will blow up your own troops. It is not awesome. I do not recommend it, but as long as you are somewhat careful, you should be able to take this down. We've got a base with a shield generator, which is going to give us a bit of difficulty for sure. Look how much GBE it took us just to get there. Lots and lots and lots of GBE. We only had, what's that, 1 critter, 2 shocks, and now we're going to have to rely on those extra long shocks. Probably could have taken this down with 1 to 2 boats of Zukas, but instead we've got all these ridiculous troops and we're going to lose as a result. So after telling you you can take down any base, of course we walk directly into a big fat fail. So but the fail, look at that casualty list. It just looks so incredibly magical that I really don't mind. Now, dropping troops, probably should have done that in a better order for certain. We're going to get going with some GBE here to clear up some shock mines, clear up some mines. And yes, I know I did clear some mines using critters, which I always tell everyone not to do. But you know what? Sometimes you got to do things. We're going to drop Brick and our Zukas and get them walking up to the kill zone. Chances of our tanks actually getting there, I would put it at about 0. Like, realistically, our tanks are simply not going to get there because they are incredibly slow. And that's one of the things here about smoking multiple troop types. There's just so many different speed of troops that it's going to be nothing but problems. And I'm kind of okay with that because we're probably going to fail yet again, which is not what I was hoping to have happen here. But you know what? Let's just see if we can't clear a little hole here with our remaining troops. I don't know how many we actually have left, but we should, in theory, be able to clear a big enough hole for our... Oh man, we have no troops left. This is ridiculous. This is where I would typically just restart the video and we'd hide the fact that I failed 40 times. But you know what? You can see me growing as a player. We are going to make some mistakes. Now that we've seen exactly what needs to be done, this base will go down next try. I'm banking on it because I'm running low on gold. That was like 400,000 gold just for one measly attack. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to use my warriors to clear some mines. I'm going to drop my troops in a slightly better, more planned order, and then we will go from there. So we're going to drop our Scorcher, tanks, warriors, and then everything else in behind. Getting that nice line going, we're going to use an extra flare right in there, getting the granny flare rocking and rolling, and now we just need to wait for a minute. Troops doing fairly good about getting into position. Now we just need to get them walking one more time. Getting the smokes, the tertiary smoke, I think is the word I'm looking for. I always forget the word for that. Basically throwing the second to last smoke first is super, super critical. We are going to throw battle orders. We're going to throw some critters out there, a shock there, a shock there, and now we're just going to clear some stuff. That is the important bit here. We need to clear a little hidey hole for our troops to hang out in. Otherwise, we're just going to get pummeled. And we need a little hidey hole simply because we don't have the troop support that we so desperately, desperately need. So now that our troops have fanned out a little bit, hopefully that Scorcher is going to draw all of the fire. Our long, long shocks are going to get us into a spot where we can pull this off with one more shock. Look at this. Called it. I feel like I was like Marc Messier there. Sadly, I'm not a big Marc Messier fan, but he did call the win, kind of like Jordan did. If anyone hasn't seen The Last Dance yet, a very, very good Jordan documentary. Not sure it's an exactly accurate Bulls documentary, but that definitely brought me back. If you're watching anything else on TV that you think is in the neighborhood of as good as that Jordan documentary, please do let me know because I'm always looking for new and exciting shows to watch. Don't watch a ton of TV, but anytime you can watch high quality TV like that, it is definitely on my list of things to do. And especially just because like I was a little bit too young during all that time. I wish I was a little bit older during that Jordan peak heyday, but I do remember bits and pieces of it. And it's kind of neat watching a documentary like that because your brain sort of invents certain instances where like you're not sure if you remember it or if it actually happened. And so those kind of documentaries are very, very high on my list of things that I like to watch. It's really neat the way, like, I'm not sure if you guys have read about it or not, but how people's brains can basically create as if people were at events. Like, they show people. Anyways, whole different thing there. Not going to get too far into it. 777 goes down. Hopefully going to be gold positive on this attack. One thing you might be noticing here is that my gold is going downwards, not necessarily the direction you want your gold to be going in when you're attacking, but running out of gold is not a great idea. Have not boosted the medkit healing, by the way. These actually are our tribes for the crab, I suppose. Oh, no, I guess they're not. We're going to get new tribes before the crab, so there's that. Not doing Grenadier health either. I guess I haven't boosted anything but the shock bomb duration. We will be doing an operation attack on Dead End in 3 or so minutes. Not sure what troops I'm going to use. Might use these troops. If so, we will lose all of them unless we get a solo. And that's one thing to be aware of. That people are saying that you lose a lot of Zukas on operation attacks and things like that, which means they cost gold and all that sort of stuff. You know what the easiest way to not lose troops on an operation attack is to solo it. As soon if you solo a base, you don't lose any troops and you carry on. That's how people in the Hopper network are able to go hopping without instant training. And that's why people tend to orient towards the solos. Yes, solos are more fun, but it's also an easy way to lose a total of 0 troops. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, getting all sorts of smokes out. I like to do the 3-way smokes. The dancing cucumber shape is totally unintentional. That was not on purpose. Nonetheless, let's see if we can't get battle orders, get all of our troops pounding away at that headquarters. Smoky troops just makes things so much better. If I can beat bases with these ridiculous troops, you can take down any base using warriors or Zukas, grenadiers. Basically every single troop is improved by smoking. So there's some sort of let's just keep moving forward because smoke is not a performance, maybe it is a performance enhancing. I was gonna say drug, but you get what I'm saying. Let's keep going. Okay, Scorchers first. There are some grapplers nearby, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful. And by the way, that drop where you use flags in that straight line, even just practice that. If you can get that drop down pat, your troops will get stronger. Getting your troops in that straight line, I'm not going to get into some geometry as far as why that makes sense, but trust me, it does get your troops where you want them to be slightly faster. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Again, getting the triple smoke simply because these troops will spread wide and far, and we don't want that to happen. So far, all our troops are underneath the smoke. We're going to throw some critters and some shocks. 1, 2, and 3, I suppose. Primary targets for me right now are machine guns close by and shock launchers that are going to crush our hopes and dreams. There's nothing worse than getting stuck by 2 shock launchers, trapping all of your troops and just pummeling you. So anyways, that base had 4 ice, and that's the beautiful thing about attacking at about 1,000 VP. You start to get into fun bases. More ice, more shield gens, more prototypes. So next time you see a YouTuber throwing a video up, do check their victory points because a lot of people like to throw off 400, 500 VP attacks as if they are something special. And obviously you can make them fun and exciting, but it takes a little bit more work and a little bit less skill. So not to say that there are many types of Boom Tubers, Boom Beach players. And I gotta say, that came across totally negative, and that is not my intent. Anyone who makes Boom Beach videos, I am highly in favor of. We need all the Boom Beach content we can get at the moment. The game needs all of the love. We're not getting any more of those ridiculously fun commercials, so we need as much action on the YouTubes as possible. So all of you people who, if you want tips on how to make Boom Beach videos, I've got videos on how to record yourself on iOS. On Android is far, far easier, not a big deal. Please throw yourself up on the YouTube. If you have a video that you think is a ridiculous hit, that is on my list of things to do, is publish other people's videos just plugging some ridiculously great attacks. So do click the bell, subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff, because I am going to be throwing a video up soon. This is going to give you a bit of a head start to get your fancy, ridiculous attacks in, because I need to showcase more attacks, and I really, really do wish that Warships would allow us to share attacks, because there are people doing ridiculously strong Warships attacks, but we're just not seeing them because not everyone knows how to record their device. And it's not overly difficult to record your device, but it is more than the average person knows how to do. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 right on top of that hot pot, hoping to get all of our troops on top of that hot pot before it pops up. If it sees any of our troops, it's going to pop up, and that's not going to be good. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's parking all sorts. I think that's like 10 different kinds of troops on top of the hot pot, trying to take this base down. Brick, of course, died at the very beginning, which means we are not going to get this down unless by some miracle. That Scorcher did not get it down, so we're stuck retreating and losing. So man, that casualty list just looks so good. Same with the reinforcing screen. Nonetheless, let's go take down Outlaw before I run out of gold. That's going to be the end of this video as soon as I run out of gold, because we all know it's coming. I am doing way too many ridiculous things, and instant training is making all of the fails totally have like nearly zero side effects. Now, one good thing as far as the pay to win aspect is that it does not give you free gold, and that's good in my mind. If instant training gave you all the free gold, all the free troops you could ask for, it would be very, very different. There's already enough arguments from people saying that instant training already makes things pay to win, especially on warships. So the fact that we're not getting free troops has to be a good thing. So just medkits, that is 500 medkits all thrown at the same time at the same place, getting all of our troops just pounding away. Down goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ice with 2 boosted, using ridiculous Noah's Ark, kitchen sink, all of the YOLO troops. Man, we're getting, oh, look at that, we're back up above 1.1 million. How in the world? Which base gave us all that gold? Outlaw, not bad, not bad. I don't know where the gold came from. I swear we were hurting a second ago. Anyways, let's keep going. Has the new operation started yet? It has not. You know what? Let's just start it. I'm going to be the guy. I'm not the leader in this task force, I don't think. Last time they actually made me the leader when I didn't know I was, which was a bit awkward. Anyways, let's keep going. And I am only the leader in Triangle 9, by the way. We have a huge, amazing group of players that handles most of our task forces. If you're looking for a task force, please do check the description below, because we have task forces for every single level of player. I have been joining task forces that have been recruiting on my channel, and I have been saddened because you get into these task forces and you run into some players who genuinely love this game, and they're playing in task forces where players are not playing at the same level. So if you're in your task force and people are not playing nearly as active you, and you're trying to harass people into playing the game, then please consider changing task forces. It's that simple. Everyone in your task force should be taking part in operations or gaining intel or whatever your general plan is for your task force. If it's a casual task force, casual is great too. But when you're in a task force and you're the one person trying to be active, please consider changing task forces, because this game can be so fun and so social, and when it's just not the same across the board, it's a little bit disheartening, because that is why I play this game. It is incredibly social. Also, on top of that, obviously you can throw all sorts of skill in. There aren't many games where you can use flares and smokes and all of the like. Boom Beach is just fantastic in so many aspects, and that's why I play the game. I am definitely playing other games in my spare time, such as Brawl Stars, but as far as my main true heart, as you can tell by my channel, it's all about the Boom Beach. So let's keep going. Hopefully we can get that rocket launcher down before we need one more shock, because I'd really, really like to not have to use another shock quite yet. This is dead end, and we are aiming for a solo here on quick charge. Our grenadiers are probably about to throw grenades on top of our troops, which is not going to be a great start, but we still have enough troops that we should be able to move towards the core and possibly take this down. It's going to be very close on time. At the very, very worst, we are going to set this up for the next player to take down. Now, this task force is a no boost required task force. That's why we're doing dead end. And so I have moved my other account into here because, as you saw, it has nearly 0 powder. And that's the beauty of having multiple task forces. Being able to move between them where you have no powder, or you want to gain powder, or you want to try some unboosted hits, or whatever it might be, we've got something for you. And I really, really do dig that part about our task force group, simply because you don't have to stick in one place. People move between our task forces, whether they want to be casual or take the weekend off or whatever it might be, and it's incredibly, incredibly handy to be able to change task force levels. So anyways, with enough, and that's about enough tooting our own horns. Let's get going. If you're not in a task force, please join a task force, even if it is the most casual task force in the history of task forces. 29 diamonds every day is what you could be getting, and 29 diamonds adds up very, very quickly. There are things starting to show up in the shop where you can get powder for diamonds, you can get all sorts of good stuff for diamonds, and spending diamonds is always a good time. You can, even if you're just using it for getting powder on your account. We are not going to pull off the solo, but I gotta say, this is pretty darn close to a solo, considering the fact that we are using the most ridiculous troops in the history of troops, and this is dead end. This is not some milk run style operation. So anyways, we managed to save some gold, because I guess I didn't mention that. I guess if you run the timeout, you also get to save some gold. Doesn't have to be just a solo. Let's get... Now, the next person to walk up can just take this down without any difficulty whatsoever. This base is set up, and we still have some troops left over. Not bad at all. Obviously, we got a little bit lucky. There's only the one rocket launcher on that right side. Let's see what people have to say. Oh, never mind. I thought someone was talking, but it was just me starting an operation. Speaking of diamonds, look at that. 3.396 million gold, and you can double that up. So if you're trying to get a big upgrade going, pick up your operation reward just before the next one comes in, and boom, you've got 6.7 million gold all at the same time. I'm going to take gold. I always take diamonds, but as you can see, I have got 5,400 diamonds. Clicked on the wrong button, but at least it reminded me to put ZMOT into the creator code. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let's get a couple more attacks done. We are at 23 minutes. I need to get this done before my lunch hour is over. Getting low on time. My wife is back to work today as a teacher in the classroom, so I am home working, making YouTube videos, and teaching my kids and homeschooling. Today, the most difficult thing was doing my daughter's hair. It was crazy hair day. I managed to pull off a Princess Poppy look for her, which I gotta say I did way, way better than I could have expected. Way better than you'd expect someone with a mustache to be able to do. But if you're on my Discord, hit me up and I will show you the picture of that. I don't tend to show pictures of my family to many people, but if you're on my Discord and you watch this far in this video, I'm happy to show you, because I did a pretty darn good job. It's kind of crazy how dads just get so much credit for doing little tiny things. Like, you take your kids to the grocery store, and you're the best dad in the world. Meanwhile, moms just do so much work. But for the daughter's haircut, the daughter's hairdo, I can take a little bit of credit for that. I don't tend to take credit for many things on the parenting side, but for doing my daughter's hair, I'll take that, because that is not something that's anywhere close to in my comfort zone. This person does not have a shield gen. Those speakers, if you do not have the Boom Beach party speakers yet, and you're looking for where to get them, check the cards above. If you don't know how to check the cards, also do let me know, because I can show you where to find those speakers. My most popular, most views video in the last long while. It was all thanks to those wonderful boom box speakers. Do they add anything to your bass? No, but they look sort of neat and interesting. And the whole, what is that thing called? Easter egg, was that not Easter egg? Scavenger hunt thing was not super clear. So people are trying to figure out how the heck to get them. If you need tips on how to get them, please don't hesitate to ask. If you want tips on anything Boom Beach related, this video is far more about entertainment than education. But if you're looking for how to learn a skill, I may not be able to do that skill perfectly, but I will research the crap out of it and come back with a video that will explain it in great detail. That is, I'm not necessarily the best videographer, the best video editor, the most handsome, whatever you want to call it, but I can do instructional videos. So if you need help, if you want information, please don't hesitate to reach out, because that is in my wheelhouse. I am the guy that will spend far too many hours figuring things out and then come out with a video that should answer all of your questions in a fairly reasonable manner. So that is kind of my go-to. That is why I've managed to get 15,000 of you as followers, I believe. By the way, thank you. 15,000 subscribers is a massive number. I don't know why, it just feels like a big nut. 14,000 doesn't have the nearly that round emphasis that 15,000 has. So, and it was a long time coming. I was at 14,000 forever. So thank you so much for all of you who chose to click subscribe and click the bell and all those sorts of things. Greatly appreciated. We are almost through clearing the map. We've got 3 bases left. You know what? We will go all the way. We're going to get... Why stop at third base when you can go all the way? That was what I said when I was 16. I can't even do that. I can't even go there. But that's what we're gonna do right now. Just trying not to make terrible innuendo style jokes, but that it just comes to me and I can't stop it sometimes. Just like the music thing that happens in my head whenever I hear or read a song lyric. So we're gonna shock that microwaver right there. We are going to damage it. By damaging it, you can force your troops to shoot something in specific, which can do fantastic things for your troops. So the troops should take out the microwaver first, as you saw there. Did not have to flare it, which means our troops will fan out in a somewhat normal manner without having to tell them to go wherever the heck we want them to go. And look at this. We are just crushing another shield gen base. This base doesn't have any ice by the looks of things, but nonetheless, down it goes. Arabic name, dude. I wish we could have like a translate button. You know how Google or Gmail and Facebook have now implemented the ability to translate a name? I wish I could click in the top left-hand corner and see what the heck that means, because every time I see a name that's in a different language, it definitely makes me curious. Wolfman Jack saying, I can't decide on a troop. You are right, Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack is an example of a subscriber that got, I was going to say sick of his task force, but that's not fair. He decided to come join our task force group, and as a result, I think he's thriving. His attacks have gotten better. He was a great attacker to start with, but now he is just crushing things. I believe he's either an officer or a co-leader in our task force group now, and is absolutely crushing it. So, Wolfman Jack, I hope that you comment down below letting people know that joining our task force group is a good thing, and that it's something you don't regret. I mean, you're still here, so I don't think you regret it, but if you do, please do let me know how I can make it improve. By the way, Wolfman Jack also just got granted his early retirement, I believe, so huge congrats to him. I am so envious. I would love to be retired right now. Just the having to balance teaching my kids and working and all of those things, having one less worry, having income from retirement would be magical right now. Let's keep going. I am going to go on the right side because I saw that microwaver at the last second. If you're wondering why the heck I'm dropping my, what are those things called? Warriors first. It's because they do a great job at clearing mines. Yes, they are fast, but they've got a bit of health. So we're going to let them pop out. It's going to draw the fire from all of the rocket launchers and things. That way, if our troops at the back here are a little bit late coming out, doesn't really matter much. It will matter a little bit, but not super tons. So at this point, we should be able to clear all of the things around us, and then we're going to move back into this back corner. Every time I say back, it sounds like I'm talking baseball. It sounds like baseball and hockey are coming back, which is incredibly exciting. I think that's part of the reason why I love that Jordan documentary so much. It's just that I've been missing sports so much. I am a big hockey fan. I am a big sports fan, but it's also just a fantastic thing to have on in the house. My kids love baseball, they love hockey, they love watching football, and not having that option to watch as a family, it ends up being cartoons or movies and stuff, which is a little bit more involved. You can just have a baseball game on as you play crib or go fish or whatever the heck it is. Let's keep moving along before I get too sentimental here. I've got more bases than I thought I did. We're at 31 minutes. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can make it to all of the bases, but at least we have gotten far away from that mustached opening. Please do let me know what you think about the ridiculous mustache. If you have grown one, if you normally have one. I think I'm a little bit too young to have a mustache. When I was growing up, my dad had a mustache always. He had a mustache from the time I think he was in like grade 9 until the time he was like 50, 60. We went to Mexico a couple years ago, and I managed to convince him to shave it off at the point where I've only seen him twice without a mustache, between the time I was 0 and the time I was like 35. So mustaches have a weird place in my heart, and hopefully they do in yours as well, because this, I don't know. Every time I've grown one for Movember a couple times. Friends and I have raised in the neighborhood of $25,000 to $30,000 for men's prostate stuff, but that was before charities got involved and before the Ice Bucket Challenge. And after that, it felt like everyone was asking for cash for charities, and I just couldn't do it. Maybe I could do it on here, though. Let me know in the comments if you would be down for donating a couple bucks towards Movember if I was to go back to the mustache for the month of November. Just a reminder that it's not just about me. I basically move onto the couch with this disgusting mustache because my wife wants nothing to do with the terribleness that is a mustache. And I don't think anyone's wife has ever looked to them in the face and said, honey, you look so much better with a mustache. And if they have, by all means, that's fantastic. But my wife is definitely not in that group of people because she is not a fan. So this is 100% me for 100% you guys and my coworkers on Zoom. Every single person I've interacted with over the last couple months has gotten a laugh out of it. But it's gotten to the point where people aren't sure if it's serious or if they should laugh. Like, it's gotten to be a little bit too much legit, if that makes sense, where people are like, I want to laugh, but I think that might be your normal face. And that's not a good place to be in. So that is part of the reason why it's going away today. My neighbor across the street got me started on this. He is who I have been bike riding with, mountain bikes that is, primarily mountain bikes, actually all mountain bikes, no road bikes for me in the last forever, simply because it's too close. Mountain biking, we're nowhere near anywhere near that, because he just climbs ridiculously fast. And I am a fairly strong climber, but he is just gone, like absolutely gone. Now that I've mixed in 64 different topics into the same video, hopefully something has struck a nerve with you. I don't normally say this once in a video, let alone twice, but please, if something here strikes a nerve with you, enjoys, makes you smile, makes you giggle, please consider clicking the like, the share, the subscribe, putting my name in that creator code, because I would love to entertain you some more or educate you, whatever the heck it might be. Let's get together and do whatever people with mustaches do together. 1000 VP, all of our map clear. I think if you've never checked, click the radar, we're at 1714. That means that I have a completely clear map except for the event. If the event was done, it would be 16%, 16%. If you're not seeing 1714 or 1616, get back out there, clear your map. Anyways, as always, I'm Zedmont. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully you found this fun, entertaining, educational, silly, or something. Thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.